possibly guest speaker. So, today we have, to kick off our meeting, a gentleman who is a marketing and sales specialist that fully understands how to market and sell in any kind of economy. And this comes from decades of experience in both male and female dominated markets and understands the two in detail. He was born in South Africa, so we won't hold that against him. Because he has both, both an engineering and business degree. He brought his experience to North America in 1998 and is now a Canadian citizen and resides in Cloverdale, BC. Colin is a vibrant speaker that captivates his audiences by delivering marketing and sales strategies and tools in a very simple and easy to understand format. And I can attest to that because I've been and heard him speak several times. So one thing Colin always guarantees his audience is that you will always walk away from his presentations, no matter how long or short, with tools you can use in your business immediately. So please help me welcome Mr. Colin Sprake.
Anyone hear me?
Yeah.
I can't use a microphone. I use my hands way too much. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the State of the Union meeting. Ray's been very kind, and thank you, Ray, for inviting me out and coming out to speak. One thing I want to do today is talk about something which to me is so important as you get going in the year, which is owning your greatness. What does that mean to some of you? Anyone got an idea?
Self-control.
Self-control, great. What else? What else? Come on, realtors. Make me up front, outgoing, let's go. What else?
Confidence.
Confidence, what else?
Persistence.
Persistence. What else?
Responsibility.
Responsibility. So how many of you are going to do things a little bit differently this year than you did last year? Any of you? What are you going to do differently? What are you going to do differently? Gentleman in the green shirt.
I said persistent, so I think I'm going to be more persistent.
You think or you are going to be more persistent?
I stand corrected. I am.
Good. Okay. One thing about me, I am South African. We'll learn this very quickly. Ray said, don't hold it against me. The one thing about me is I am direct. Why? Because people love the words try, I'll think, I'll try to do that, I'll think I'll do that, whatever it might be. It's either you do it or you don't do it. Do you agree?
Yes.
There's people that showed up here today and people that didn't show. The ones that didn't show took themselves out of the game. Do you agree?
Yes.
There was a game here today that they said they were going to be at, but they didn't show for the game. How many times do we do that to ourselves, take ourselves out of the game, or let things get into our head that hold us back from our true greatness? Ever had that happen to you? Anyone? Yeah? We have things that take us out of our comfort zone. It snows in Vancouver, and all you ever hear is snowing tomorrow, we need to cancel our meetings. Doesn't that suck? It drives me crazy. Excuse the word suck. I like using that word. Is that okay with you? Okay, good. It drives me crazy. People get taken out. I was at one of our own events recently. And I'll give you a little intro to who I am in a couple of minutes. I was at one of our own events recently. A lady stood up, came to me at one of the breaks and said to me, Colin, we're at a 3-day event. She said, I cannot come tomorrow. I said, why? She said, it's going to be snowing and I live in Vancouver and it's such a tough drive out to the valley when you live in Vancouver and I hate driving in the snow. I said, wow, that's interesting. So I said, let her sit down. I didn't accept her statement. And I said to her, everyone sat down, everyone sat back in their seats and I said, how many of you live in Vancouver? And a couple of hands went up. I said, great. Out of those two hands that went up, how many of you are coming out tomorrow to the event? The 2 hands went back up again. I said, great. Can you pick that lady up and bring her with you? That's how simple some of our things are in terms of going from good to great. Don't you agree? That's how simple some of the things are we don't do in terms of really truly owning our greatness. We let the smallest things take us out of the game. With me, the most important thing is being in the game in the first place. You can be on the sidelines watching the game, or you can be in the game playing it fully. How many of you this year are going to really play the game fully for 12 full months? How many of you? Great, awesome. As we go through today, let's get my flip chart here. Okay. I'm very much about interaction with the audience. You all agree to interact fully? Yes, no? Let's try that again. You all agree to interact fully? Especially those in the back table that came in early to sit at the back. We will find you. We will find you. Okay. We only have 30 minutes, so we've got a lot of stuff to do. One of my things I said in the introduction is, I'd like you to walk out with things that you can actually think about and use in your business, in terms of all of you are in your own businesses. You agree? Yeah. So when you leave here today, my goal is that you walk out with something that you can use. If it's one thing, two things, that's great, you've achieved. Do you agree on that? There's not a keynote to get you rah, leave here, and then there's nothing to use after. My keynotes are all about tools you can use. And I want you to leave here with tools that you can use today, or just something that prompts a different thought inside your mind. And one thing I know Ray said to me already, he said, Colin, you have to understand, this audience who've got here today are a team of high-producing realtors. They're a team of great people. They're a team of people that keep the office, the #1 office in the Valley. And I think you should give yourself a round of applause for being that consistently. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about who I am. Then I'll get into the truly owning your greatness. I came to Canada in 1998 from South Africa, and like Ray said, please don't hold it against me. I love doing what I do. Since I've been in Canada, I've built 4 amazing businesses. I've been involved in a mining equipment company. We had 35 offices around the world. I've owned a skincare company. I've owned a fitness company. And I love building companies, getting them to a certain level, selling them off, and I'm an entrepreneur at heart. And why am I in training? Because at the end of the day, I love seeing people achieve more than they ever thought they could achieve by pushing their comfort zones beyond belief. And I started doing this when I was in the mining company in 1998. I joined the company, and in September 2000, I took the company over and flew around the world. It was pretty much a glorified CEO job, but really all I was doing is flying around the world training people. And I said to myself, why not put this into something I really enjoy doing, and that's training on a full-scale basis. We started Make Your Mark, training and consulting in June of 2004, and we've never looked back. It really is. One year, I woke up this morning, my wife said to me, honey, are you going to go to the event today? And I said, who have you been sleeping next to for the last 15 years? Of course I'm going to go, because you know what's going to happen? People aren't going to show, and those people are the people that keep on taking themselves out of the game. I will do whatever it takes to get you. My car broke down the highway, I would hitch, I would walk, I would do whatever it takes. You agree? That's the same thing you want to do in your own life. Do whatever it takes to get to where you want to be. How many of you truly want to be at a different level this year by the time you get to the end of 2011? How many of you? Are you prepared to do what it takes? How many are prepared to do whatever it takes? Awesome. Fabulous. Some of you will say, within reason. That's a little voice inside your head. You might go, which little voice inside my head? I'm talking about that one. That little voice inside your head holds you back from so many amazing things and so many amazing opportunities. But my goal is never to get up on stage and brag. I'm not a bragger. I just like to give real life examples. All 4 businesses that I've built since I've been in Canada were multi-million-dollar businesses within 8 months of starting. I love building businesses. I know how to do it, and I know how to do it well. And people say to me, well, you're unique, you have the education. I go, no, I don't. Where I'm unique is I think differently. The difference between extremely successful people and people that just keep on going along and bumbling along and hoping for success is an attitude. You agree? Yeah. Absolutely. Attitude is absolutely everything. So we're going to go through a couple of things today to really take that to the next level. So let's just look at... Does everyone have a pen and paper? Great, okay, awesome. Everyone else have a pen and paper? Okay, good. So, about today, on a very simple level, are your thoughts. Having positive thoughts and powerful thoughts that impact where you go every day is really important. What do thoughts lead to? To action. Some of the seats are empty today. Do you think those thoughts were positive actions? Not at all. Those actions that they've taken, those people have decided not to be. And I don't mean to harp on those people that haven't shown up. I just think it's one of those things that it's a very good example of why people don't show. If you want to go to the next level in your business, it's about continually watching your thoughts and being aware of your thoughts and how they drive your action. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We live by the statement in Make Your Mark called CAP. What do you think the K stands for? Knowledge. Okay, great. What do you think the P stands for? Positive, persistence. What else?
Profit.
Profit. Good, good, good. Okay. So what does the A stand for? This is the bridge between knowledge and profit. You can go to seminars, you can go to any kind of education, get a bunch of knowledge. Until you take action with it, you'll never profit from it. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. So the most important thing is taking action with what you need, with what you get from today. How many are going to take action with what I give you today?
Yeah.
Great. We'll see.
All in favor?
We'll see. So Ray will give me some feedback on that one in a few months' time. Okay. Let's ask a question quickly before I get right into it. What do you think the number one reason for business failing was in the last 50 years? The number one reason businesses failed in the last 50 years. Implementation, what else? Lack of vision. Lack of vision. What else?
Lack of innovation.
Lack of innovation. Okay. The number one reason, this is a statistic that was recently published,
Refuse to change.
refuse to change. The actual number one reason was indecision. Indecision. It's better to, you've heard the statement so many times, it's better to make a decision and make the wrong one than to not make a decision at all. Everyone's heard that. I believe in it, I'll look at it a different way. I'm a big believer in positive energy. So there's good, and there's learning, there's right, and there's learning. There's not bad or wrong. We taught that from a young age that things are bad or wrong. No, it's not. It's just a learning experience. As long as you learn and you don't do the same thing habitually thereafter. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. More time, the number of times. Okay. So let's just go back to the whole thing about thoughts. What do you think that equals? Thoughts plus emotion. Sorry? Thoughts plus emotions. What do you think it leads to? Attitudes, part of it. Beliefs. So every time you have a thought, you add an emotion around that thought, it becomes a belief. Whether that belief is right or wrong, or whatever it is for you, it's a belief. You agree?
Yeah.
I'm just busy reading a book at the moment called Unleashing Your Authentic Power by John Britt. And one of the key things, you open the book and it talks about happiness. And it says, happiness isn't determined by the event that's taken place. Your happiness is determined by how you perceive the event. Everything is your perception. Beliefs are your perception. Don't you agree? It's absolutely. So let's say you make a phone call to a client and you leave a message and they don't get back to you. What are the common beliefs around that? That don't like you. What else?
Next.
Sorry?
Next.
Next? Not necessarily. You might have phoned left the message, the kid answered the phone, or took the voicemail, deleted them, and they never got the message. So fire the client. Because of that, it might be a great client. Because our beliefs say to us that people should phone back no matter what, and then we draw into those beliefs whatever we want to draw into them. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of the biggest things is we have our beliefs, whether they're right or wrong, we hold on to them. So when I say to people, when you look at beliefs, the key thing is to verify and clarify your beliefs. So what I mean by that is, look at everything, when you have a belief around something, say to yourself, is this my belief or is this fact? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You will change your business when you start to analyze the way you perceive things to be. Because remember, the way you perceive things, I'm not going to get into too much detail because this is I spend days on this when we do one of our courses called Business Mastery, is the way you perceive things comes from your experiences. It comes from your past. It comes from things that have happened in your life. So your beliefs, how many of you know have beliefs today that you've held on to but you're not really truly sure where they came from? How many of you? Be honest. Great. So what I want you to do now quickly for me is write down 3 key beliefs that you have that you know either have not been clarified, not been verified, or potentially are holding your business back. 3 key beliefs. Can you write them down? You'll have them. Let me give you some examples. I believe, let me give you this, make sure I give you some really good better ones for this audience. So let's say it's a belief of, I'm not good enough. Or it's a belief, I have to have all the knowledge before I go out and see the client. So all of you have 3 key beliefs. I don't, to be honest, in a very kind way, I don't care how successful you are. We all have limiting beliefs in one way or form. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're a realtor earning $50 million a year. At the end of the day, you can go to 75, 100, or a billion. And there's certain thought patterns that will hold you back from getting there. While you're busy writing down those 3 beliefs, let me give you a very good example. I had a realtor in one of our events. We have a number of realtors that have been through our training. And this realtor, we have an exercise. This is really how powerful beliefs actually are. This realtor, to me, is a good realtor. She has changed now and become great because of changing her beliefs. So at our event, we have an exercise where you have to go out and do a task. And what this task of this event was to sell a CD on the street. To take a compact disc, go on the street and sell it. And of course, a lot of you probably go, oh, I could never do that. Listen, you're realtors, you're going to go out and meet people, walk up to them, chat to them no matter what. You agree? That holds you back in your business. And of course, the noise will start at the event. You can actually hear the noise inside people's head. Oh, I can't do that, what can I do? And I don't know enough people, and where am I going to find people? We have set rules. You can't sell to each other at the event, you can't do a bunch of different things. So we asked her to go out, she leaves the room, and she says, I will not do this stupid exercise. I said, great. She came up to me 3 times and said, I'm not doing it. I said, it's your choice. Because you agree, life is all about choices. It's all your choices, all your nonsense going on inside your head. It's not anyone else's. You can't blame somebody else. Your choices are your choices. So she decided not to do the event or the exercise. We get back after lunch, we still sit in the room, and I said, well, let's work on this together. And she said to me, I don't want to work on it. I think it's the most stupid exercise you could do in an event. I said, well, let's work through the process. So what are your beliefs around this exercise? She said to me, well, number one, it's a CD that's in a wrapped box. It's sealed and everything else. I said, great. So what's wrong with that? She said, well, I can't listen to it. I cannot sell something I don't believe in. So a little hand goes up in the back of the room, a doctor of psychology. A little lady, her name was Holly. Holly puts her hand up and says, well, did you drive here today? She says, yes. She says, well, why don't you just open it, put in your CD in your car and listen to it? And she went, and of course, now comes the next hurdle. Oh, well, if I opened it, then I can't sell something that's open. So I said, oh, another self-defeating hurdle in your life. And Dr. Holly said, well, you're selling it for charity. Anyone will buy something for charity. Dr. Holly that day sold 10 CDs herself. That realtor had one of the biggest epiphanies, realizing there were things she kept on putting in her way to stop her from getting to the level of success she wanted. That makes sense? Those are the beliefs we put down. These are beliefs that hold us back. I believe that a CD, if I haven't listened to it, I cannot sell it. Great. I believe if it's open, that you can't sell something that's open. Does that make sense? Do you think all the products you sold have been open? Of course they have. The houses you're going to are a used product. Do you agree on that? I said to her, that's exactly what you now do. So I said to her, so you only sell new homes? No, Colin. I said, well, everything else you sell is open. And she looked at me and she went, wow, I didn't realize that. And now to this day, she's one of our raving fans. She spent a lot of time telling people who we are, what we do, and how we do things. Why? Because when you go into this in detail, you will take yourself from here to here. When you change your patterns and the way you do things. So who wrote down some of their limiting beliefs? Who wants to share one of them? Anyone? Yes.
I've got fear that I'm going to lose control of my life. Because as a realtor, we're 24/7, 52 weeks a year. And if we're not careful, we can lose control of our life and our families. And so I'm always fighting with myself, how much do I want to step in and how much do I want to step out?
Great. Here's the thing. There's only two sets of rules in business. Your rules and the client's rules. You agree? Whose rules do you want to run according to?
My rules.
Your rules. So here's the thing. How many of you have rules for your business? Written down in detail. These are my office hours. This is when I work. And you might say, Colin, it doesn't work like that in a realtor's life. I run a consulting practice. I have clients chasing me all the time. I have office hours specifically set. Why? Because otherwise, they rule your life. And eventually you have clients you would love to get rid of. Do you have any of those? So thank you for sharing that. It's one of the key things is losing control is a matter of putting the controls in place in the first place. Setting them up so you have the controls, the office hours set. And some of you will say, I disagree with that. I can tell you, clients are like children. They need rules. How many of you have kids? Imagine your kids having no rules. What would you have? Chaos. It's the same with clients. If you set rules for your clients, you won't have chaos. So please make sure that you write down what rules you want in your business and let those rules show up the way you want them to show up. Otherwise, you are your slave to your customer. I think you can there's a difference between serving your customer well and being a slave to your customer. You agree? Okay, who else wrote down a self-defeating statement or belief?
I wrote one down, but
Right.
I think that a lot of us are affected by it, and that is price is a factor, meaning commissions, meaning office fees, meaning the price of a home. You know, a lot of times we fear, sometimes fear the price, whatever that is the person is going to accept or not accept it.
If you think your product is priced, if you know your product is priced and is of value, why worry about it? You know, I only come really from most of my own personal experiences because that's what I've experienced and that's what I take to all our clients, is that knowing your value is important, don't you agree?
Yeah.
Knowing what your value is. And most people don't know their value. How many of you know your value in detail and it's written down? Maybe a few of you. You will take your business to an amazing level when you write down exactly what your value is. And value, I mean, Ray's been to one of my trainings. We spend half a day at one of our trainings called Sales Warrior on really working on your value. Because remember, price is only an issue in the absence of value. Price is only an issue in the absence of value. And until you know your value, price will always be an issue. That make sense? Okay. What's our time like? I just want to make sure I stay on time. How much? 10 more minutes? Okay. Okay. Anyone else write something down? It's another belief. Yes?
Lack of energy to do it all.
Lack of energy to do it all. Okay. Do you believe in energy holistically as well or not? Sure. Some people feel, I'm a big believer in energy. What you put out is what you get. Do you agree? I'm an absolute big believer in that. I say to people, some people, you might know people like this, are living, walking, talking crap magnets. Don't you agree? They always go, everything happens to me. Well, if you keep on saying that, you're going to keep on attracting it. So there's two things to look at in life. Number one is, so when I think sort of spot around the world, is always look at your choices. When you go through your choices to be, I'll give you a quick example, either Teflon or Velcro. Do you like stuff to stick to you, or do you like stuff to just run off you? One of the key ones is taking things personally. Your client doesn't phone you back, someone says to you, I don't want to list with you. And you walk out and you go, oh. And you sit at home, you wonder why I don't want to list with you, and you take it all personally, what have you. It's a choice. Because the thing is, how long does the person that said that to you remember it for? The one that said it. Maybe for the time they said it. But you as the person receiving it have a choice to either let it stick to you and take it really personally, or let it run off. How many of you know you take things personally, and if you didn't take it personally, it would help your business? How many of you? Great. So that's one of the key things. So back to the whole thing of having enough energy to get there. If you're worried about the amount of energy you have, take something to get your energy up, and always put out having enough energy to get you to what you need to get done, what needs to get done. Do you agree on that?
Yeah.
It's really important. Now some people say to me, Colin, you have the most amazing energy. What do you take? I go, I don't take anything. I love life. I love what I do. I'm extremely passionate about what I do. How many of you are passionate about what you do? Absolutely passionate. Great. So energy shouldn't be a problem. Is energy a problem for you? No. When you're passionate, energy just flows from you. So really, think about this as you leave here today and as you go through the rest of the year. I often put on my Facebook page, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling like Teflon or are you feeling like Velcro? And it's so amazing how many people write back going, Colin, thank you. That small piece of information made me think differently. The one day I did put on Facebook, have you been associated with today or bumped into any walking, talking, living crap magnets? And people, the response, I must have had 25 responses to it, or comments. And I said, because there's lots of those that hang around. I mean, there's people in your life that you have hanging around with you that bring your energy down. To me, it's only two things. People either add to your energy or they take away from your energy. I want people to be in my life that raise my energy, that raise my game, that get me to the next level. How many of you want the same? How many of you have those living, walking, talking crap magnets in your life? It's time for a change. You might say, we're calling that family. That's why I moved to Canada. My family 10,000 kilometers. Okay. Only kidding. Only kidding. Okay. Okay. Are there any questions? I know we have a very short period of time. Any questions? How do you get passionate? Finding your passion is so amazing. Ray's going to do a course with us. I think it's not